Welcome, guys, to the Tops. That is the show where we take our topic at hand and give you our list of our top of what it is. My name is Craig Perales, and joining me is Mandrew Montemayor.
We out here.
And on today's episode, we're doing the our top list of anticipated games coming out in 2026. Now, there's a couple of stipulations we have for. One is that we were going to do this earlier in the month, but we're kind of doing it at the end now because we're waiting to see what was going to happen with the Xbox Developer Direct. So we don't have Fable in there because they just did a big direct on it. If you guys are interested in our podcast, LastCallGaming, which is a show Andrew and I do every week, we do go into depth on that. You can find that on the channel. And we're also doing no GTA 6 because that is going to be something that's on everybody's list. The other stipulation was the games have to at least be confirmed in 2026. They don't so much need a hard date, but they do need to say they're coming out because there's games on that I wanted on my list, like Clockwork Revolution and Judas, that just haven't been necessarily confirmed for coming out in 2026. And we like to stick to nice hard dates.
Yeah, at least a general timeline, not sometime soon.
Nice. So, guys, we're going to give you our top three, each of us, and we'll go back and forth. We'll start with Andrew going his three, and we'll work it all the way down to number one. So, with that out of the way, guys, Andrew, what is the third most anticipated game for 2026?
Now, it's going to sound like a hypocrite because mine doesn't have a hard date, but it did have a hard date. Mine is Mina the Hollowware, and that's from Yacht Club Games. For those of you unfamiliar, that is the team that makes Shovel Knight, among many other games. Now, this game they've been working on it for a while. It kind of was on a little bit of a hiatus with the date, but it actually had a hard release date of October 31st of last year. Unfortunately, they said they had to delay it, but it shouldn't be too much longer. So that, to me, at least speaks 2026 sometime. I can't imagine, I hope that it wouldn't go on any longer. So that's why that one, I think, gets the pass for playing a little loose with that date.
You really snuck that one in on me.
I'm sure we'll throw a trailer or something up on there. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It looks so good, especially if you're into those retro style games. It has like a kind of gothic-y feel, like older Castlevanias, but it looks like it plays like Zelda on the Game Boy, Oracle of Ages, Seasons, Awakenings, which are some of my favorite Zeldas of all time. So I'm really super into that style, not just the art style, the music. I don't remember what kind of animal she is, but you play as she like burrows under the ground, and that's kind of what I think it's like the hollowing is the area, and it just looks like a Zelda.
It says genius, inventor, and mouse. Mina's a mouse.
Yeah, I know she was a type of rodent, but it just looks really good. It just looks like those retro inspired games that, we don't get too many things like that these days, and they already delivered something like that with Shovel Knight being almost kind of like Mega Man. So I have no doubt in my mind that they could put something out that would be akin to like some of those Zeldas that people hold like near and dear to their hearts. So I'm super excited for this one.
Nice. You little rascal sneaking that in on me. My number three, guys, is I kind of did a safe bet, a Hail Mary, and I could take it either way. So this is kind of my safe bet, and that is Control Resonant, which is an upcoming action role-playing game developed and published by Remedy Entertainment. It is a sequel to the 2019 game Control and is scheduled to release for Mac, PlayStation, Windows, Xbox in 2026. So unlike the first game, which is a third-person shooter, Resonant is an action role-playing video game. In the game, the player assumes control of Dylan Faden, who must look for his missing sister Jessie, who's the protagonist of the first game, while also stopping otherworldly forces from consuming the whole world after they escape containment from the Federal Bureau of Control in downtown Manhattan. The game places an emphasis on melee combat, with Dylan wielding a weapon called the Aberrant, which can shapeshift into different forms. Remedy described Resident as an open-ended game, with the player being able to explore the city and complete optional quests and objectives. Now, it looks really cool. The reason it's a safe bet for me is because the studio making it has made every game they've made has been pretty solid in my opinion. I do like because what they've established is the RCU, which is the Remedy. What was the RCU? The Remedy Connected Universe.
I can tell you it's Remedy and Universe.
Yeah, Remedy Connected Universe, which combines Alan Wake 1 and 2, which I beat number 1 and I played number 2. I don't know why I didn't finish it, but I really like them. Control, Max Payne, more importantly, 1 and 2. I don't think the other ones quite fall into it. And Quantum Break. They did do that game Fire Break, I think, and that game kind of fell off. But other than that, I like a lot of almost all their games. So I'm comfortable with it. I think it looks pretty good. I do like the way it is kind of turned more into an action RPG. Now, it's not necessarily said that it's a Control Part 2. I kind of think this is going to be more like a Miles Morales kind of game because they do say that it's a standalone game. You don't necessarily need to play number 1 to play this new one. The combat looks really cool. I like the dark government kind of ops that they have, and it's cool kind of seeing that you're playing it from another perspective instead of playing it from her side who was battling them. He was somebody that was on the other side without giving spoilers away from number 1. So to me, this game looks quite good, and for me, it's a safe bet because I think the studio is going to deliver on this one. So
my next is going to be Pragmata. That is from Capcom. This game had kind of disappeared for a while and then showed up again with a release date of April 24th. It looks very weird, very space kind of like themed almost, which I'm like super, super into. It's a third-person action adventure style game, but it almost, I think, like as you're fighting stuff, there's like little puzzles that you kind of have to solve too to like be able to like attack and like break through. You have like a little AI like android companion. She's like a little girl. Her name's like Diane. I just think it looks super interesting, super off the wall. It almost looks like something very like something Kojima would make. So I'm super into anything like that because it's just very different. And I really like that Capcom has been pushing. They do stick to like a lot of their big games and stuff that you would expect from them, but they've been dropping out some bangers that just randomly will come out of nowhere, and you're like, man, that is totally different. Like Kunitsu no Gami, which was one of my favorite games. Did you ever get around to trying that? It's almost like the kind of the tower-based one where you have to protect like the priestess.
No, I had that downloaded. I don't know why I never did, but they took it off Game Pass. That's why I didn't get around to it before they took it off.
Oh. If you ever get a chance to do it again, but they've just been kind of throwing out some different ideas along with some of their bigger titles, and those seem like they're just as good. Like, I loved Kunitsu no Gami, and this, I had only seen like the one kind of trailer, so I'm not too familiar with what's going on in the story and everything, but I kind of wanted to keep it that way, because if I'm very interested, like, a part of the mystique's a big thing for me, so I'm like, okay, cool, I just want to go in like blind, I already have a general idea. I know right now there is a demo out for this game. I have not downloaded it to try it yet. So if you're on the fence about it, definitely get out there and check it out. I think you should try it.
I was going to, but I'm going to play it. There's nothing about it that shows that I'm not. And but from everyone that I've been hearing that's playing the demo, everyone's enjoying it. And I guess there's a lot more puzzle kind of mechanics than people thought instead of being action adventure. So I kind of wanted to do it just to see what it was like, but I feel like I could watch a YouTube video and then, because I'm definitely diving into this. So
yeah, so it's just dripping with aesthetic, and so I'm super, super excited for this one.
Nice. My number 2 is my Hail Mary pick, and that is Romeo is a Dead Man, which is coming out on February 11th of 2026. So that's right around the corner. Let's see. For a dead man, space-time special agent Romeo sure leads an interesting life, playing as a crazy scientist's grandson in the third-person action-adventure game. Romeo is a dead man fighting grotesque mutants, boarding FBI spaceships, and strolling through alternate dimensions is just your average workday. This sounds, awesome. It sounds real zany. It's wacky. The trailer, if you're watching the YouTube video, is full of bloody kills. I like a good sci-fi game. It kind of has like the nuttiness of something like High on Life kind of does. Like, it's just good old-fashioned, like, it seems like dumb fun. The way the combat moves, if you're fans of like Lollipop Chainsaw or No More Heroes, this is the studio that helped to make that. It's got a lot of cool different abilities, like some of the guns and stuff, they were showing like freezing abilities, time warping. You are using things like he's got gauntlets, he's got swords, he's got guns, and the animation seems to kind of switch back between like comic book and anime style, as well as going more into third person action combat. So for me, I feel like this is a real big one because like it could definitely just suck. But everything I'm reading about it, like, fighting mutants, traveling to alternate dimensions, I'm like everything about it. So I'm definitely looking forward to that game. So before we dive into, you did your 2, I did my 2, right? So before we dive into our number 1, let's give a quick few honorable mentions of things that we're also anticipating as well. So what honorable mention?
My first one is going to be Yakuza Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties. This comes out February 12th. Of course, that's from RGG Studio. As anyone knows, I am a huge fan of Yakuza, and this obviously is just a modern remake of the third one. Plus, Dark Ties is like a separate side story where you're playing as somebody else. So it's like kind of like a nice little package to go through. I know Yakuza 3, even when I played it, the original one, it is kind of like a roadblock. This is the one where people say a lot of the combat is just bad. They call it like block Yakuza because it doesn't feel as good to fight in this one because a lot of the enemies are just extremely prone to blocking. So you end up having to use like grabs a lot. And so the combat for something that's supposed to be fast paced like Yakuza just slows down. So hopefully they fix that issue. And that's something I would love to play, especially with their modern engines because it does feel good.
Nice. One of the honorable mentions I have is Blood of the Dawnwalker, which is a vampire-themed dark fantasy action role-playing game. From third-person perspective in the game, the player assumes control of Cohen, a Dawnwalker with both human and vampiric qualities. This looks like a vampire version of like an Elder Scrolls type game. It's based on a time loop, so you will be going through day and night cycles. As the player progresses, they will gain skill points which can be used to unlock additional active abilities and passive bonuses across 3 distinct kill trees. It looks fantastic. I mean, I've always loved a good vampire game, and this looks like you're actually going to take full advantage of it. I know there's points in the trailer that they show out, or some of the content they've been saying is that you can do the game completely like stealth, and you can run on walls, you can use teleportation. So it looks like when you actually get to play the vampire side, you're going to get some really cool abilities. So honorable mention that, and as of its release date so far, it just says 2026. Did you have another honorable mention?
Yeah, my last one, and why it's just an honorable mention for 2 reasons, but again, it is just 2026, so very vague, is Dust Bloods, and that is going to be the new Soulsborne game from Software, who puts out nothing but bangers and Game of the Year games. The reason this one is a big honorable mention and maybe a what if for me is because so far it's only coming out on the Switch.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know if I want to play something like this on the Switch. As much as I love the game, I'm really up in the air about this one because I do like playing the Switch for games that are a little bit easier and a little bit lighter, and I don't know if I want to play something that's kind of really testing my mettle like that on something like that. So we'll see.
You gotta get the Pro Controller and just play it on the TV.
Yeah, we'll see, and we'll see how it does when it comes out. But either way, this game, regardless, I know even if I don't end up playing it, I'll be watching YouTube videos for the lore and everything like that because everything Miyazaki puts out is gold.
Nice. As far as my last honorable mention, it's going to be 007 First Light. Described as an origin story for the character. The game will follow a young James Bond who will be portrayed as a 26-year-old inexperienced MI6 agent who is tasked with a mission that, when completed, successfully will grant him 00 status. This comes out on May 27th of 2026. It's the guys that make Hitman, and I gotta tell you, the last Hitman game that came out, I was thoroughly impressed with. I loved everything about it. I like the stealth mechanics you're able to do. I like the combat. I like the missions. So being able to adapt an original James Bond story is intriguing to me because a lot of the 007 James Bond stuff is usually based on movies, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think there's been an original game per se. So
in a while,
yeah. To get an origin story, I'm looking forward to it. So that would be an honorable mention. So with that being said, let's move into our number 1 most anticipated game.
My number 1, again, from Capcom, as always, is Resident Evil Requiem. This is coming out February 27th. Woo! I am always really excited for Resident Evil generally, but more so for this one. This game is going to be starring Grace Ashcroft. She's an FBI agent, and she is the daughter of Alyssa Ashcroft from Resident Evil Outbreak, which is a really good PlayStation 2 game. Outbreak 1 and 2. Very different. And Leon Kennedy does return in this as well. I should have said spoilers
Handsome
before.
Kennedy.
If anyone was trying to kind of stay out of there. The big thing I'm really excited for is because you return to Raccoon City, and obviously I know it's not going to be the same as like Pre or whatever, but just to see the remnant of that, I think for me, Resident Evil has always been the strongest with like 1, 2, and 3, or like Outbreak, when you see the downfall of the city and you have some of these individual stories. So to kind of come back to it all these years later, it's just a little bit full circle that I am super, super excited for this game. That and Capcom has not put out anything bad. The worst thing you could say would have been maybe Monster Hunter Wilds was a little like okay, but it wasn't a bad game. They have just absolutely been killing it nonstop. So I am super, super excited for this. And to big thing for those of you who maybe might not, who are planning on skipping it or whatever, depending on, I know some people differ in the gameplay between the games because they go first, third. This one is first and third. I feel like a lot of the footage they've showed off is first for Grace, and then they use third I had seen for Leon's part. You can alternate between the two, so whatever you would prefer to play as.
Nice. As far as my number one pick, and this is where I can see it going either way, is Wolverine, which is scheduled to come out in 2026. Wolverine is an upcoming action-adventure game developed by Insomniac Games and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. Based on the Marvel Comics character Wolverine, it is inspired by the long-running comic book mythology, while also deriving from various adaptations from other media. It's going to be a PS5 exclusives, and Marvel's Wolverine is going to feature an ensemble cast drawn from the comic book mythology of the character, the wider X-Men mythos, and various adaptations. The game follows James Logan Howlett, aka Wolverine, a centuries-old mutant with retractable claws, heightened animalistic instincts, and a pronounced healing factor, who is grafted with an indestructible adamantium alloy in his skeleton following intense experimentations. Other characters that appear in the game include Mystique, Omega Red, and the Sentinels. The reason why I call it in either way is because I'm very comfortable with the studio making it. Insomniac makes banger games, and everything they do with their combat looks cool, especially with what they're showing off with the blood and the gore. And when you move, the reason why I kind of look at it the other way is the downside is how are they going to compare it to games like Spider-Man and Sunset Overdrive. This studio is known for doing really fast kinetic type games, and there's really not much you can do with Wolverine in that space. And then the other thing too is also it's another comic book game, and as fun as the action was and the combat was and the abilities that you were able to do in Spider-Man, not a lot of people liked what happened with the story of Miles Morales or even Spider-Man 2. So that's kind of where I'm on the fence, where it's like I'm really excited for it, but this could be a game that does take a nosedive. I don't think that it will. Everything that I've seen, the game looks fantastic. So for me, Wolverine, all the trailers that we saw, the comment that we've been able to see, and the characters that they're showing, especially Omega Red, is somebody I've been waiting to see for a while.
Well, if you're really worried about it, why don't you look it up online? Because the whole game leaked online, and they're fighting an uphill battle about it forever ago. So if you're really that worried, go ahead and check it out.
That was the 2023 Reseda hack, which had a bunch of stuff leak out. But as far as it goes, Wolverine I think is still one of the games I'm looking forward to
Looks
the most.
good.
Yeah, and who doesn't love Wolverine if you're a fan of the X-Men? So I'm really curious to see, because the interesting part will be if they nail another combat style that separates itself from a Spider-Man, and you can make something that's just as engaging and as fun as a Spider-Man was, and Wolverine can capture that. Then we've got a studio. My only hesitation is I hope Insomniac doesn't get stuck doing Marvel comic book games, but if someone had to do it, I guess I'm glad it'd be them than somebody else. So
I like it. I really wish though we would have got like a 90s like X-Men like animated style game with like Jubilee and all these overly colorful.
That's what you got X-Men 97 for. You got to watch your Disney Plus. So with that being said, Andrew, let's recap real quick what our 3, 2, 1 was. My number 3 game was Control Resident. My number 2 was Romeo is a Dead Man, and my number 1 is Wolverine.
My number 3 is Mina the Hollower. Number 2, Pragmata. And then number 1, Resident Evil Requiem.
Awesome, guys. So this was just a quick little video to give you guys our most anticipated games of 2026. Leave down in the comments below, guys, what you think, what games you're most anticipated for, and we will write back to you. So, guys, until next time, my name is Craig Perales. That is Mandrew Montemayor. Cheers.
See you out there.